Hi, this is Ben.
This is Chris.
This is Adrian.
This is Lisa, and you're listening to the Wood Fired Oven Podcast with Mark Gostin.
G'day and welcome to the Wood Fired Oven Podcast, where I take a deep dive into the techniques, recipes, and history of wood-fired oven cooking. My name is Mark, an obsessed and curious fan of outdoor cooking, especially with my wood-fired oven. Follow my podcast in your favorite app and listen in as I go searching for the best recipes, tips, and advice to both supercharge our cooking skills and motivate you to light up your favorite outdoor cooking gear this weekend. G'day and welcome to this week's episode. Just a quick one this week. I just wanted to touch base with you to thank you so very much for getting your audio questions in to the show. Since we announced that Clive, the wood-fired oven chef from YouTube, is coming on to the show, I've received so many fantastic questions via SpeakPipe. I've been absolutely blown away by the generosity of you fine folks out there taking the time to record an audio message that I can put to Clive on the show. Thank you so very much. It's really interesting for me and encouraging to see so many folks from so many different countries tuning into the show. We've had folks from Brazil, we've had folks from London, from Canada, executive chefs who are about to launch restaurants. It is really exciting. What I wanted to talk about today is I want to give you the opportunity to book a slot on the podcast and come on this show. This show is in part sharing my journey with my wood-fired oven, but more importantly, it's about talking and chatting and getting to know you other folk out there who have a passion and a story to tell about your cooking with fire journey, about your journey learning to use your wood-fired oven. And that applies whether you're doing it at home, whether you are an executive chef, whether you're a pizziolo, whether you just love doing it in your backyard. I want to hear from you. I'd love to have you on the show and to share your journey with my listeners. If you think you've got a great story to tell, please head on over to the woodfiredoven.cooking. That's my website. Check out the Being a Guest link and get in touch with me on that page. A couple of things to think about if you'd like to come on the podcast. Have a think through whether you're comfortable with the sound of your own voice, whether you're a good communicator. Perhaps you're a great storyteller. You might be funny, you might be introspective, you might be thought-provoking. What's really important is that you have a unique point of view with cooking with fire, which I bet is almost everybody on the planet. So head on over to the guest page and send me an email and let me know why you'd like to come on this show. I've got great interviews now booked up for the next 3 or 4 months. I've opened a whole bunch more slots and I'd really, really like to hear from you. So if you're an executive chef about to launch your restaurant, if you're somebody in Brazil who loves making wood-fired ovens, if you're in London and you just want to learn more about how to use your oven, get in touch with me. Let's talk about your story. Let's share that with others in the same boat. It would be fantastic to touch base with you and book you on the podcast. I'd love to hear from home cooks. I'd love to hear from chefs, from new chefs, from experienced chefs. It doesn't matter. If you're writing a book, if you've written a book on cooking with fire, get in touch with me. Let's have a chat on the show. Also, if you know somebody who might like to come on the show, please share this podcast and the website woodfiredoven.cooking with them so they can get in touch with me as well. I'm also very grateful to a bunch of you who have taken the time to share your stories with me via email. And for those of you who have sent through your pictures of your oven, I'm just blown away by your creativity, by what you're doing out there in the wood-fired oven world. Thank you so much. Just as I was going to air, I got an email in from Barry. Barry's in Canada. Barry, the pictures of your wood-fired oven that you are just finishing up absolutely blew me away. The craftsmanship involved in that, the wonderful story that you shared with me about that oven and how you are using that oven to honor somebody important to you. What a great story. What an absolutely fantastic thing to do. I bet you're going to really enjoy using your wood-fired oven for many, many years to come. So if you've got a great story, if you've got pictures of your wood-fired oven that you'd like to share with me, get in touch with me. If the story you've got to tell is something you would like to share with me on the podcast, head over to my website and get in touch with me. I would really love to have you on this show. I am also very excited to announce today that another guest already lined up to come on the podcast is Ben Guilford. He is the owner, the founder of the wonderful Firebrick company here in Australia, obviously down in Melbourne. I purchased my wood-fired oven, my D105 off Ben a couple of years ago, and it is a real privilege to have Ben come on the podcast. Like we've done with Clive, I would like to give you, the wonderful listeners out there, the opportunity to ask Ben some questions about the wood-fired ovens that they sell, maybe some of the other accessories that they've got. The Firebrick company also sells directly into the United States, so if you are thinking of making a wood-fired oven from a kit, you really want to tune into this episode. And if you've got some questions for Ben, get them in now via SpeakPipe. Head on over to my website, woodfiredoven.cooking, send me a voice message and ask your questions, and I'll get those to Ben for the show. Now, Ben's episode is likely to air early January, and I'll be having a chat with him over the next few weeks. So get those questions in now. It's going to be a fantastic episode. Ben is incredibly knowledgeable about wood-fired oven construction, about components, about cooking, and his story is a fascinating story, and I'm really excited to talk to Ben live on the podcast soon. So get those questions in. It's going to be a fabulous show. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to announce the name of another guest, a fabulous guest out of the UK. This particular guest runs a very well-known cooking school in the UK. Many of you listening in Europe will be aware of this cooking school, and it's going to be a very exciting opportunity for me to talk with these folk about their school and their journey as well. So stay tuned for a couple of weeks when I'll be releasing the names of that wonderful guest. I've also got Lisa coming on to the show in a month or so. Lisa is an expert at food history, and I'm really, really excited to be talking to her about wood-fired ovens and their history, particularly around Roman antiquity and their origins in the Roman and the Greek world. That's going to be a really, really exciting episode for me personally. I love my history. I love my Roman history. So thanks, Lisa, for agreeing to come on the show. It's going to be a real blast, and I'm very grateful for the time that Lisa is putting into this episode. So as you can see, there's lots happening here on the Wood-Fired Oven podcast. This week, it's just a short episode to let you know what's coming up. And as always, I really appreciate your feedback. Get in touch with me at the woodfiredoven.cooking website, or via SpeakPipe. If you're on Instagram, Marks_woodfiredoven, click the link in the bio and get in touch with me. Thanks again for listening. Stay safe, have fun, and go cook with fire. If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure you follow the Wood-Fired Oven podcast in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app. Please consider posting a review on Apple Podcasts too, as that really helps the show. Don't forget to check out woodfiredoven.cooking for more tips, tricks, and advice on cooking with fire. You can also see full episode notes and links. You can also send a voice message, which I may feature on the show. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so head over to your favorite social platform and get in touch. Thanks again for listening. Catch you next time.